Adventure. Hmm. Okay. Well, so yesterday I was just been telling you like how you're going to use ASP.NET Web Forms. We're just talking about ASP.NET Web Forms, right? So like how to create a project, how to run the project, and this is what I just been explained you. Okay, have you tried them? And I said you by default, the code runs under IIS Express. So what is IIS Express? IIS Express is basically a development web server. And actually, all our code basically runs under IIS Express actually. Okay, it's a development web server. And this IIS Express, actually talking more about the IIS Express. Yeah, it is inbuilt. Basically, it is inbuilt into your Visual Studio. So once you start your Visual Studio, automatically IIS Express also will start. Okay, now, and basically, what I just wanted to tell you is, yeah, there are two things here to understand. What is that? When you create your project, we added first dot ASPX, and it has created you first dot ASPX dot CS also. So code behind architecture. So the coding styles are two types. One is inline, and the second one is going to be code behind. Okay, inline means the one we tried in the notepad. Code behind in the sense, basically, uh, the code behind architecture is what we just been seeing in the Visual Studio. Visual Studio is going to be code behind architecture. Visual Studio is going to be a code behind architecture, what we just have. Okay. And the other option, what we have is inline. It is going to be the inline. So when you're talking about the inline, in inline, yes, matter. Okay. So in Visual Studio, what we have is only the code behind model. Visual Studio doesn't support you inline architecture. What it supports is only code behind. This is inline and this is code behind. In code behind, as I explained to you, we have a ASPX file, ASPX.cs file, and ASPX.vb. Two things, ASPX.cs and ASPX.vb are the two different files what you'll be finding up over here. Okay, now, next. Uh, we have seen up in the last session. Hmm. So this is first.aspx and this is first.aspx.cs. And one more file also will be there, first.aspx.designer.cs. Visual Studio will write the code there. Okay. Some code auto generation will be done. I shown all these things. Yeah, this is where we stopped up in the last class, guys. How does the web application run under Visual Studio? I read it. Right now, it is running only through IIS Express now. It's running only through the IIS Express. Next. I said you that it will be adding you each and everything as a project, as a site. Okay. It will add you everything as a site. And basically, if you just understand that you'll be having a different port for each project. Every project, every machine, this port number will be varying. Okay, it's not going to be the same port what you have in all the cases. You have a different port for each project and each machine. Okay. Now, sir, can I run my project under the IIS, not IIS Express, IIS? IIS is what we install on our machine already. We tested. Can we host a project on IIS? Yeah, we can host it on IIS. See, once the development is completed, and you want to give it access to other machines now, other machines in the organization, you can host it on your IIS. Okay, or otherwise, you can do it like this also. You can host it on your IIS of your machine, or you can host it on IIS of a remote machine also. Means you're the developer, there is a server machine. So you're asked to host it on the server computer now. Okay, so you can host it on a remote computer, or you can host it on your local IIS also. Both are possible. Okay. So let us see how to host a project on local IIS. How to host a project on local IIS. Okay, let us just to see how to host it on the local IIS now. Okay, observe the process. If you want to host on the local IIS, the first important thing you are going to remember is you need to open your Visual Studio in the administrator mode. By default, a normal user cannot access servers. For accessing servers, you're required to be an administrator. You're required to be an administrator. So right now, if you want to host this on IIS, you need to be an administrator. Okay. If you're not an administrator, it doesn't allow you to host on IIS now. So just observe it, how to host on the IIS. See the process carefully. Open the Solution Explorer, right click on the project, select the option Properties. It opens you the project properties window. Now in the left hand side, you'll find an option called as Web. Click on that. Now on the right hand side, if you scroll down, you'll find Servers. And see, the current server is IIS Express, and that is the default. And the URL 52357. We saw for this project, it allocated 52357 port number now. For a different project, a different port will be assigned. Okay, this is randomly assigned. Okay. Now in the drop down, you have to see local IIS, external host. What is external host? External host in the sense you are hosting on a remote computer now. You're hosting on a remote computer. Okay, we cannot try that because we are not in a network now, but you can try this local IIS. Local IIS. When you select the local IIS, immediately the project URL changes. See, originally this is the project URL, right? And now I'm changing this to local IIS. Changed. http://localhost refers to http://localhost refers to default website here. What na default website? Okay, HTTP colon double slash localhost colon 90 refers to what you're practicing is that NIT site one. HTTP colon double slash nitsite.com refers to NIT site 2. Clearly explained you all the appropriate. Are you practicing? Really? Or only faking? I got a doubt. Just last week I said you and today you forgot already. HTTP colon double slash localhost refers to default website. HTTP colon double slash localhost colon 90 refers to NIT site 1. HTTP colon double slash nitsite.com refers to NIT site 2. So you're referring to default website, and under default website, first web app. What is this, sir? This is going to be created as an application under the default website. Remember, you created an application called as site 1 and one virtual directory with a name called as site 2, right? Now, this is going to be added under the default website as a application. Suppose if I say colon 90, then it will add you under NIT site 1 now. Are you clear? Okay. So if I just use it, then where is it going to be created? Under the default website. See, this is your default website, and the default website has one application called site 1, a virtual directory called site 2 directory. Okay. Right now, when you come here, when I just click on this button, it is going to add your project as a application under the default website. Unfortunately, Microsoft did not update this caption. The caption will be shown as create virtual directory, but what it creates is an application, not a virtual directory. Am I clear? So when I click on the create virtual directory, now it is going now and going to be created. Means earlier we manually created. Now it is automated process. Click on the button, it will create you. When you click on this, now you get a error. Read it. You required an administrator account. That's what I said you when I started. I said you this one. You should be an administrator. A normal user cannot directly host it on IES. You must be an administrator user. Then only you will have a permission to add this under the IES. Are you clear? Okay. So that is the important thing to remember. So what should I do now? Close the project. Okay. Reopen your studio in administrator mode. How's there? Right click on the studio. Run as administrator. Okay. Open your project, first web app. Scroll down. Yeah. Change to local IES. Create virtual directory. Created. Now come here and just go for refresh. Right? And now save it once. Save this. Okay. And when you save this immediately, IES Express change it to local IES here. Did you notice it? Okay. I forgot to show you this actually. Just a minute. By default, yeah. By default, if you see here, the start will show you as IES Express and which browser to use. These are all configurable. The default browser I set is Microsoft Edge. If you want, you can change it. You can click on this and you can just say where browser default Edge, you can change to Firefox or Google Chrome or whatever you want. Are you clear? I'm setting Microsoft Edge. Okay. And here, the server is IES Express. Now, when I run this, it's running on IES Express now. Yeah, just observe it. What you'll see is a port number. What you'll see is a port number. See. Are you clear? Which page is opening, sir? By default, it doesn't open any page. Why? You're not targeting to any page. That's why you will be getting a error now. Just watch. Array, you're not addressing any page now. And there is no default page for you now. Okay. So how to address a page? Slash first.aspx. Are you clear? Same way slash second.aspx. But see, where I'm pointing product file. But if I'm pointing to a web page directly now, if I'm pointing to a web page directly, I'm pointing to a web page directly and run, then directly second.aspx will run. See, have you noticed it? See, second.aspx is running directly. Why? I'm pointing to the second.aspx. Same way, if I'm pointing to first, it runs first.aspx. If you're not pointing to anything, the address bar will show you only up to the host name. You're required to fill the remaining. Okay, now? Fine. Now, if I put it like this, I'm not pointing to anything now. Okay. Now, what we done? We want to change our server. So come here. Local IIS. Already the virtual directory is created off because we clicked on the button. Click on the save now. And see now, IIS expert change it to local IIS. Is everyone clear? The IIS Express has been changed to local IIS in this case now. Understood or not? Okay. So like this, it just got changed to the local IIS in this case now. Now, when you click on this, yeah, I did not point to a file. See the address bar. If you see the address bar now, no port number. No port number now. Running as an application. It's running for you as a application in this context now. So this is how you can host it on the IIS. Is that clear, all of you? Okay. So that is the process to host a website on IIS. Read it. Are you people clear? Okay. So like this, it has just got, yeah, second paragraph also. Continue that. We'll change the project URL like this. There's a new URL. Okay now? Yeah. If people are clear. Now, as I said, you guys, there's an outdated option today. And as we discussed, like we're not going to discuss much on this particular thing, but just want to give you a basic idea about this, how you create your web forms here. Actually, the thing just what I want to tell you here is, if you are working with this, if you are just going to work with web forms here, if you're working with web forms here, see, this concept of your ASP.NET Web Forms is very, very similar to the Windows forms of C Sharp. The Windows forms of C Sharp. You'll be having drag and drop features. You can just drag your controls and place it on the screen. Okay, it's not like your HTML style. It's not like your HTML, we manually write the code, but yeah, complete automated process is available for doing any activities now. Okay, so let me show you one thing. What I'm adding a new web form in the project here. Let us name it as third.aspx. First, second, now I'll add you another web form here. Third. See, when you're working with this guys, remember every web form is having three places to work with. Three places to work with. In Windows Forms, you have two places to work with: design view, code view. Correct? Design view, drag and drop, code view. Write the code here. Three places to work with: design view, source view, code view. Design view, source view, code view. What is extra? Source view is different. What is source view? Source view is the HTML. By default, when you add a form, by default, you're pointing to source view. See, this is called source view. This is all the HTML part now. Are you clear or not? And here I can just do my designing work now. See, for example, source view. These are all the HTML. I'm adding a button here. I'm adding a button here. Input type is equals to button. Okay. Value is equals to click me. I'm just adding a button here. Run. You'll see a button on the screen now. A button on the screen now. Okay, so by default, it given all the template here. You're writing only this. But if you're working with HTML, record start from here now. But yes, it given all the template and telling you, hey, write what you want here. Remaining all I'll take care now. Understood? Huh? So this is the source view now. And same way we have design view. What is design view? Basically, if you write some HTML coding, you've done some designing, you're writing some HTML code. How does it look like? Are you written some HTML code here? How is the output going to look like? We need to run it explicitly in the browser to see the output. If not looking good, again, we require to modify. But here, it's not required like this. Why? It has a design view. You don't require to run your code or do any of this particular things. In the bottom, you will see the option, guys. This is the source design. If you click on the design, it will take you to the design view and show you the output of this. When you run it, this is how it looks for you in the browser. Are you clearer or not? Let me come to the source. I will add a body, style, background hyphen color. I'm going to set some background color for this. Some aqua. How does it look, sir? Design view. You can see it directly on the screen now. So no need to run it, check it in the browser. No need to waste your time. Directly, if you go to design view, the complete output will be visible. So did you understand source and design now? Yes or not? And now this design provides you a beautiful option of drag and drop. Drag and drop. What is that? If you go to the view menu here, you'll be finding up your toolbox. Remember the toolbox in Windows Form now? The toolbox. It opens you the toolbox. So in the toolbox, you are provided with the list of controls. We are provided with hundreds of controls. Basically, we can just use the drag and drop feature and just go for creating these controls now. Okay, I wanted to add a text box here. I want to add a text box here. Okay, see, here you'll be doing HTML, expand it, button, text. Okay, put your cursor here. where you want to add it, and click on the input type. Text box is ready. That's what the same Windows Form experience now. Okay, go to source. It generated of the code for you now. It is going to generate of all the code what is required for you now. Are you clear? Yes or not? So two ways to perform this. What are the two ways? One is in the source, you can manually type the code. Two, drag and drop. Actually, the drag and drop works here also. What is that, sir? Yes, guys. The drag and drop works to you in source also. In source also, drag and drop works. In the sense, I just wanted to add one submit button here, another submit or reset button here. Drag it. Here also it works. Okay, this is a very beautiful option. What a very big success here because of this drag and drop. But it is going to be a little bit heavyweight. And that's why going forward for large scale applications, performance issues came into picture with this. And that's why the MVC was born. And that's why the MVC was born for small scale applications that has one or 10 to 20 pages in your website. You can have any number of pages, but still the small scale application has some 20 pages in my website. This is a very good architecture, simple and easy to develop. Okay, but I'm developing enterprise class application with large scale application where I have some 100 pages in my website now. In such scenarios, what they suggest is better go with using the MVC architecture than using the web forms architecture. Am I clearer or not? Okay, so like this, we just have the different options for it. So are you clear with the design and source now? Are you clear with the design and source view? Design view, source view. You have a split option here. If you click on that, you'll see both at a time now. Source, design. Okay, so I can keep it like this and I can make the changes accordingly and I can see the outputs on the screen. Okay, value is equals to reset. Modified C. Clear. Okay, now that is what both at a time, but your working area will be decreased of. Better let us go for using both the two things separately. Okay, fine. I'm deleting all. Okay, leave it, run it, and you'll see all the three things on the screen now. Nothing special. All these things. Yeah. Can you help me? I just want to create a. I'm writing enter name. Okay, I'm typing manually. Enter name. Help me. I want to create a text box here. I just wanted to create a text box. And you guys know how to create a text box now? Tell me how do you create a text box? Input type is equals to text. That's it. There's some attributes what you're going to use now. What is it? ID, not or. ID and name both should be used. ID equal to something. Name is equals to something. Am I right? Okay. So you know HTML. I don't require to teach you HTML basically. You know how to create them, right? Input. Observe this. And I already said your name and ID. These two attributes last week I explained to you. ID is for client side. Name is for server side. Tomorrow I want to read the value of this particular text box on the server. Name attribute is mandatory. If I want to write any JavaScript logic for this, ID attribute is mandatory. Type is to tell what is the type of it. Okay. And below that, I want to add a submit button. You know, submit button, right? I just want to add a submit button. Okay. Let me add a submit button beside it. Yeah, watch. Type is equals to submit. Name is equals to value is equals to save. ID is equals to BDN submit one. Are you clear? What is extra? Value is extra here. Save something. Okay now? Well, now just watch this. One more time I'm doing it. One more time I'm doing it. Actually, these web forms basically, yeah guys, in ASP.NET web forms, yeah, in ASP.NET web forms actually, is a web designing only, and this was launched. So many competitors are in the market, and Microsoft came out with the ASP.NET web forms now. And when it came with ASP.NET web forms, it has to show something different for the people to use it. So that's why what it has done is Microsoft in ASP.NET web forms here, without depending on HTML controls, it introduced its own controls called as ASP.NET Server Controls. Without depending on HTML controls, it designed you a lot of controls called as ASP.NET Server Controls. Not like one or two controls here. A lot of controls have been introduced for you as ASP.NET Server Control, grid controls. In HTML, we don't have any grids now. Grid controls and all. Lots of different controls have been added for you in this. Okay. So if you see, not HTML. Here you'll be finding some standard controls. See this? Different controls. Ad rotator for displaying ads on the screen. Bulleted list, button, calendar, checkbox list, content placeholder, drop down list, file upload, hidden, hyperlink, image button, image map, label. See? Variety of controls have been added for you here. Apart from that, for data binding, data list, data pager, details view, form view, grid view, list view, repeater. Do you find all these controls in HTML? You don't find all these controls in HTML basically. So this is something what Microsoft has done it. What is it? It introduced something called as ASP.NET Server Controls. So in web forms here, in ASP.NET web forms, we don't use HTML controls at all. Then what we use are ASP.NET Server Controls. How do we use them? Just watch it. I want to create a text box again now, one more text box. But now I want to create the text box using ASP.NET Server Controls. Clear? Watch. How do you create this? How to use this ASP.NET Server Controls? ASP colon text box. Guys, ASP colon text box. And here we are just going to use the appropriate thing, ASP colon text box. ID is equals to ID, basically, just a minute. ID is equals to txt name2. Okay, now? And now we'll be using a special attribute called as runit is equals to server. That's all. Sir, name, no, we don't give. Just ID attribute, runit equal to server. I want to add a button also. ASP colon button. Okay. ID is equals to btn submit to runit is equals to server. Text is equals to save. Array, in Windows Forms, how do you give a caption for a button? Text na? Text property. The same concept here. Text is equals to save. Run and see. Both will show you the same output on the screen. Did you notice any difference? Both are looking alike only. Yes or not? Both are looking alike now. How they're looking. And not only this one. The first one is created using HTML. Second one is created by using ASP.NET. Okay. And remember, all web technologies, as I said, you explained earlier, all web technologies will do this. What is it? Rendering. All web technologies will do this. What is it? Rendering will convert everything into HTML or the text format. HTML format, everything is going to be converted into text or HTML formats now. Understood or not? So right now, if you just observe this particular thing, it is just going to do rendering and convert everything into text or HTML format. You have used ASP.NET server controls here now, but finally, when you look at the view page source, that also will be HTML code only. What I mean to say is right click, view page source, and just observe both are looking alike only. See, not even a single line difference. First one you have written manually. Second one, you used ASP.NET server controls now. These server controls will do the rendering work to you. Are you clear? Okay, that is what. See, there's a grid control. If I add a grid control, it'll render a table now. It'll render a table automatically. So I don't require to just bother about it. Automatically, a table is rendered to you over here. That is the specialty of the ASP.NET web forms. Okay, with all this particular control, they will generate you this. Sir, finally HTML only enough. Then why to use server controls again? HTML only can be used. I'm familiar with HTML. Okay, the advantage of using server controls over HTML controls is first one. See there. I'm filling some values now and you click on the save button. When you click on the save button, what will happen? You're using a submit button. You learned HTML basically submit button, but exactly what is the use of submit button? Whenever you click on the submit, it will submit the data to the server. Did you understand or not? In HTML, you don't do server programming. You only focused on creating the web pages. That's it. Any client-side coding. But tomorrow I want to save this in the database. Did you learn in HTML? No, na. Now I want to read this value on the server now. Okay. Okay. When I click on the save button, submit button will transfer all the values from the browser to the server. Will transfer all these values from the browser to the server. From the browser to server, all these values will be transferred off now. Did you catch my point or not? From browser to server, all these values will be transferred off. Everything, every of this particular value will be transferred from the browser to server. So just click on the save button and see now, it will transfer the values to the server. And now just watch it. Did you notice the first text box is cleared? This is the drawback of HTML. HTML, once the data is submitted to server, it will clear off the values. ASP.NET web controls will not do that. That is the first thing. They have the capacity called as maintaining the state of values. They can maintain the state of value. The state of values can be maintained. Are you people clearer or not? What is that? The state of values can be maintained. Who can maintain? Who can maintain? The ASP.NET server controls. The ASP.NET server controls can maintain the state of values. See, it is maintaining the state of values, but this control lost it now. Are you clear? When I'm going to read these values on this server, second advantage, when I'm going to read these values on the server, how to read these values on the server? Okay, just to see. So we saw right now design and source view now. Or if you want to write any database coding or anything, then you require to deal with code view. Or how to go to code view, last class I shown you. Tell me. Right click. And here you'll find a view code option. Click on the view code, it'll take to code view now. And here we find a class and all. And there's a method here. What is that? When the page is loaded, this method will execute now. Just like form load event in your Windows forms. Here it is called as page load event. Page load. When the page is loaded, then automatically this code is going to be executed. Okay. So right now what it has is, sorry. Yeah, the page load event. So now I want to read that values here now. I want to read the values. HTML controls are not accessible to you directly on the server side. Tomorrow you're working with any web technology like ASP, not ASP.NET, ASP or JSP, PHP, anywhere you work. How do you read that values on the server? You know, if you want to read that value on the server, this is how you're required to read that value. How? Request dot form of the control name. What is the name of the control? TXT name1. Okay now. So what is the problem here? The problem here is you entered the name of the control now. If the control name is typed wrong, you won't get a compile time error also, you won't get a runtime error also. Why? It is passed as a string now, as a key, your key value. So it doesn't physically refer to the appropriate thing. It checks for a key with the name called as txt name1. If it doesn't find, simply it will ignore it. No compile time error will come, no runtime error will come. Are you getting me? But how do you read the values of your ASP.NET server controls, you know? Directly. Watch it out. IntelliSense is working. TXT name1 is not shown. TXT name2 is shown. And again, I'm telling you, the same Windows Forms experience. See there. This is how you read the values on the Windows Forms now. Same process. TXT name2.txt. Okay. Advantage, IntelliSense works. If I type something wrong, I will get a compile time error. It won't execute the code. Okay. Just watch. After reading these particular values, I'm just writing if string dot is null or empty of name1. What is this? Array, if it is not null or empty, if it is not null or empty, response dot write name1 plus name1. Okay now? Same way here also I'm adding a similar logic, guys. So why you writing this condition? Why I'm writing this condition is a page load. The page load executes every time, guys. Every time in the sense, just let me add you a breakpoint here. Done this. I'm running this for the first time. Then also page load code will execute. Then also page load code will execute now. When the page load code is executing now, at that moment, I don't have a value in name1 now. Skipped. Otherwise, it will print you on the screen. Now, first time, don't show that. Same way, here also skipped it. That's why I added the condition. Now see, I'm entering a name now. Click on the save button. Again, the page load code will execute now. See, click on the save button. Again, page load code will execute. Now see, yes. Now it went inside. Did you understand why I added that condition there? So that's what you can see. Name1, name2. Okay, let us add a break. Let's add a break so that they'll be separated. Here I'll add a break tag. Yeah, remove the breakpoint. Are you clear? See now. Tomorrow, if I type this wrong, there is no compile time error. There is no runtime error. Only thing is you won't see the output on the screen. Tomorrow you're working with 30, 40 text boxes on the screen. If something is not going to show, a small mistake somewhere, unnoticeable, and we will break your head to find out the problems. You know that? It'll take hours and hours of time to identify the problem now. Name1 is not shown, see? Why? No compile time error, no runtime error. Notice that first. Okay, but here type wrong. Did you understand the advantage? It's completely All these controls are completely developed by using C sharp. What will they do? All these controls will do rendering. When I run this, rendering will happen and converts everything into HTML only. Finally, end of the day, it looks like HTML, but it has two features, two benefits. First benefit, they can maintain the state of values now. Once you click on the submit, it won't clear the data. Second benefit, what is the second benefit? They're accessible directly in the server. They're accessible directly in the server-side code. Straight away, you can refer to that. Straight away, you can refer to that. See, one more thing I'll tell you. I corrected this. By using this, what I can read, I can only read, I can only read the information. What information? I can only read the text of the text box now. I can only read but in this scenario, guys, I can read whatever I want of the text box. Whatever you want means I can read the text of the text box. I can read the background color of the text box. I can read the foreground color of the text box. The complete text box is accessible to me now. Every value that is associated with the text box, I can read now. I want to read the ID of the text box now. I want to read the ID of the text box. Dot ID will provide access to ID of the text box now. And you can read the ID now and you'll get access to the ID now. Are you people clearer or not? So that is the reason why in ASP.NET Web Forms, we never use HTML controls. What we use is now, but every ASP.NET server control, what it will do? Every ASP.NET server control renders HTML. And to render this HTML, guys, in all these ASP.NET server controls, there is one inbuilt method. What is that method? The method is called as, the inbuilt method basically called as render control. Render control. At the time of processing, the web server will call this method on every control. It will call this method render control on every method. And the render control method will immediately generate the required HTML and send to browser. Remember, I shown you a picture? Processed, converted into HTML, right? At the time of processing, what will happen? The render control method is called now. HTML is generated. That HTML will be written into this. Means, understand what happens here. This is written as it is on the output stream. Okay, this is also written as it is on the output stream. But here, the render control method is called now, converted into HTML, and HTML is written to the output stream now. Here also. Okay, what about the rest? Rest is written as it is only. Wherever you find only ASPX code, that ASPX code only will be converted into HTML format. Remaining all is HTML only, that is converted to HTML format. Okay. So, are you clear with all the three views now? What are the three? Design view, source view, code view. Design view, source view, code view now. So, these are the three things what we just have. Okay. Yeah, read this, guys. Read it. See here, just understand HTML is JavaScript and the logic for creating input controls. Why is separated? Generally, input controls also part of HTML only. No, sir. Why are you separating it? Because we are not using HTML controls. What are you using is ASP. That is why you separated. Yesterday also, when I was just pointing about this source, this architecture, I was separately telling controls here. I expected this question from you. Why are you separating this, sir? Control is also part of HTML only, na? Why are you separating controls? Now you understood why I'm separating the controls? Because these are not HTML controls. What controls? ASP.NET Server controls are what you are using. That is the reason for separating control separately here now. Okay now? Fine. So what next? Sourceo. Louder. When you add a web form, by default, it opens your source view only now. New web form, source view is by default. There you write HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all things. Design view. Visual representation of the source view. That is, learned in Windows Forms also. Do you remember this word? What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Drag and drop. The drag and drop feature works now. Note. Both are shown at a time, top and bottom now. Third one, business logic. Okay, now next. First one is the first advantage here. They'll maintain the state of values even after the page submission. Second, I shown you ASP.NET Server controls are directly accessible in the code now, and you have the IntelliSense support available. For HTML, you don't have any support available. Next, lot of controls are there, guys. Hundreds of controls are given by Microsoft. Next, C# language. But all these controls at the time of page processing will be rendering required HTML, and the logic for rendering is implemented in a method of that control called render control, and this method will be called by ASP.NET Framework while processing the page. When the page is getting processed on every control, it will call you render control. Now see, again I'm telling you, when it is processing the page, HTML code will be written as it is in the output stream. Means from here to here, it writes as it is in the output stream now. Here to here. Now here, this is ASP.NET Server control now. Now processing will take place now. So in the process of processing, it will call the method. Which method? Render control. Now the render control method will convert into HTML, and HTML is written in the output stream now. Again, this one also the same story. Remaining all as is it will take now. So finally, everything is in HTML format now, which is sent to the browser. And you'll find a div tag. You noticed already div tag. Under the div tag, I'm writing this one. So this is what I've written. It's how you see the code in the last div tag. Are you people clear? Is how you see the code in the last div tag. This is how you'll be seeing. Understood or not? Okay. So that is what. So this is all about the ASP.NET Server controls. Basically, we'll be using the ASP.NET Server controls here. And these ASP.NET Server controls are similar to the Windows controls what we learned. They're very similar to the Windows controls what we have learned actually. Are you clear? Okay. So I'll do one thing, guys. Basically, I'll give a basic idea about it. I can do one thing for you. And you know how my notes will be present, everything in detailed explanation and all the thing, how to work out with it. Already you learned Windows Forms. I'll provide you the web forms notes to you. I'll provide you the web forms notes to you. Okay. You can just check the web forms notes and try these examples basically. Are you clear? Okay, so my notes will be very step-by-step process. What to do, add a form, write this code, write this. How clear it will be. The same way I'll provide you the web forms note because web forms is right now outdated. Okay, but still, if at all you just want to just do some R&D or want to learn about the web forms, I can provide you the detailed notes about the web forms now. And you can just go through the web forms notes and try these particular examples or the samples. Clear, Ara? Okay. So that's what. Few things I'll give an idea. Afterwards, I'll give the notes to you so that you can practice. Next. Three things in it. First one. You learned in Windows Forms already. What are three things? Properties, methods, events. What are properties? Properties means attributes of a control. Array, in HTML also we have an properties are nothing but attributes of a control. There is a text box. I want to make it read only. Read only attribute is here. The max length attribute. They're all what we call as attributes now. So we call them as properties here. In HTML, we called it attributes, but here we call it as properties. Properties or attributes are one and the same now. And these properties or attributes will have an impact on the look of the control. How the control looks, width of the control, height of the control, background color, border style. All these things will be the properties. Methods. You know methods. HTML also have methods now. Okay, see, remember, focus is a method in HTML. When you call the focus method, the cursor comes and sits in the particular text box now. Yes or not? So these are all what we call methods. So we have some methods, and when you call the methods, actions are performed. And you're a C# developer, and you know what is a method? A method is an action. Whenever a method is called, actions are performed in the background now. Okay, there is a method called as focus. When I call the focus method, the focus will come and stay in the text box now. That is a method. Third one, you learned about events in Windows Forms. You learned about events in HTML classes also. Yes or not? Okay, button is there. Click is an event. In HTML, you called it as on click. Both are same only. Click. Here we call on click. Okay, on blur, on load. All events you learned in HTML classes. Same thing we have here also. Properties, methods, even. Whatever I say here, you covered up everything in HTML already. There also we came across properties, we came methods, and there also we came across events. But we learned it 2 times already. What are the 2 times? We learned in HTML as well as we learned in the Windows Forms also. In Windows Forms also, how to deal with it. But what is the difference is, suppose you want to write some code for on-click event of a button. On-click event of a button. In HTML, what did they teach you? Write a JavaScript code and bind the function. But here we're going to write C# code in the code view. Are you getting my point? We write C# code in the code view. We just use the code view, and in the code view, we will be writing the C# code basically. Okay. I just wanted to create a small login form now. I just wanted to create a login form, a simple login form here. Okay. Well, let us add it, guys. Add a new web form. Let me name it as login form. Yeah, login form. Now, come here. Basically, this div, div in HTML, div is like a container, a horizontal panel, extended to the full size of the skin. We use it for styling. We generally use these divs for styling. For styling, the divs are used for giving a different style code. Okay, by default, the div is there. Now, what I just wanted to do is I want to just go for creating a login form now using ASP.NET Server Controls. ASP.NET Server Controls. What do you want? Actually, login form is user ID password, but I want to put user ID, password, email. 3 options. Are you clear? Come on, let's try this, guys. First, enter name. Okay, ASP colon text box. ID is equals to txt name. Run it is equals to server. This is a very important attribute. Run it equal to server. To differentiate this between HTML and this, run it means run this on the server side only. Means on the client side it will be HTML. Server side it will be C# code. Okay, run it equal to server. Next. Let me add a break tag. Enter password. ASP colon text box. ID is equals to txt password. Run it equal to server. Are you clear? Now in HTML, to tell a password, we have type is equals to, correct? Here we have mode is equals to, sorry guys, not client mode, wrongly typed. Mode equal to. Sorry, text mode equal to. I'm sorry, text mode equal to. And see guys, you learned in HTML input type is equals to color, date time, local, email. You learned all these options in HTML, remember? We have it here. What we don't have is checkbox is not there, radio is not there, button is not there. They're all separately created for you. Checkbox is a separate class, radio button is a separate class, like this. Okay. Here we have, see in HTML, text area is a separate control, but here it became a part here, multi-line. 16 options will be there. Color, date time, local, email, month, multi-line, number, password, phone, range, search, single line, time, URL. Default is single line. If I don't specify anything, single line, text box. For name, I did not specify that. But now I need to specify. What is it? Password. I'm just going to specify it as password. Okay now? Again, break tag. Next, enter email. I just want to ask you about email also. Okay. Help me. ASP colon text box, ID is equals to txt email, run it equal to server, text mode is equals to email. Excellent. Done. Okay. Now again, I'm adding a break tag. Now what I want to add is a submit reset. ASP colon button. ID is equals to btn submit. Run it equal to server. Text is equals to login. ASP colon button. ID is equals to btn reset. Run it equal to server. Text is equals to reset. Run and see the output. Actually, to make you understand, I typed it here. I don't require to, guys. I can drag and drop. Got it. But not looking good. The page is looking very worst. No alignments. No proper alignments. More you design like this a screen, it looks very awkward. So that's why in HTML, unfortunately in Windows Forms, we have absolute positioning option. Absolute positioning option. What is the absolute positioning option? You can place a control in a specified XY coordinate in Windows Forms, but you can't do that in web. In HTML also, we don't have that feature, guys. In HTML also, we don't have that feature. You cannot put a control in exact position now. Yes or not? There's no option to put, I want to add a control, a specified X coordinate, Y coordinate. Not possible. It's possible in Windows Forms, but not possible in web. That is why in WebAR, we use tables extensively for designing. We use tables for designing. Did you understand me or not? What we use? Tables. These tables are used for designing. For getting a proper layout, we require a table. Tell me how many rows and columns? Louder, yeah, fast. 4 rows, 2 columns. Correct? 4 rows and 2 columns. So we need to better go for using a table here. Then only we'll get a proper alignment now. Table. Align is equals to center. I'm just using an align option. Caption. Login form. Now TR. TD. How many TDs? 2 TDs in each TR, right? Same way. How many rows? 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now first enter name. Where it should come? First row, first column. Now text box. Faster. First row, second column. Next. Second row, first column. Second row, second column. Okay, now here. Third row, first column. Third row, second column. Actually, these 2 buttons, I want to put in 1 column only, not like 2 columns. On 1 column, yeah. Okay, then TD call span is equals to 2. So then I can remove the second column now. Right? And now copy these 2 buttons and put it under here now. Sorry. Remove all the unnecessary contents. Save it. Buttons not properly sitting there. Okay. Y align is equals to center. What happened to caption? Any spelling mistake? Yeah. Caption. Looks good. Why you understood why I used call span 2 for it? If I don't use call span 2 for it, this button will come here. This button will come here. Lot of gap. I want both to be side by side in the center now. That is why I just use that particular alignment. Are you clear? Now when the user clicks on the button, just a minute. Below the table or otherwise in this table only, I'm adding another row, guys. One more row. One more row I'm adding. With the call span 2 only. Array, one more row with call span 2 only. And there I want to add a label. No label na? I want to add a label. ASP colon label. ID is equals to LBL message. Run it equal to server. And I want to display the text color in red now. 4 color is equals to red. Did you understand? HTML, guys. 4 color is equals to red. I'm just going to set it. Right now, it doesn't have any text. Because it doesn't have any text and this label is not visible to anyone now. Run and see. A label doesn't have text here. If I give text, it will be visible. See? Text is equals to hello. Okay now? So I don't have a text. So what is the plan now? The plan is when the user clicks on the login button, I want to check whether the username is admin, password is admin at the rate 123, email is admin at the rate naresheti.com. There is some static values only, not with the database. I want to verify. If they're valid, I want to display a message in the label as valid user. Otherwise, I want to display it as invalid user. Are you clear? So now first go to design view. Yeah. So there's a design, this is a UI, how it looks now. Array, why to go to browser? Yeah, here only you can see now. Okay. Now, when the user clicks on the login, what should happen? It has to verify all this information now. Are you clear? So just to see, double click on the login event. See there, btn submit underscore click, generating you one method. Correct as C# coding, not JavaScript code, C# code. Now this method should be bound with your control now. Am I correct? Yeah. Go to, just a minute. Go to the ASPX, go to the source view, verify. This is how you learned in HTML classes if you want. Yes or not? But in HTML, what you write on click is equals to JavaScript function. But here on click is equals to C# code. Are you clear? Sir, if I want to execute JavaScript code, what should I do, sir? Did you understand the question? Array, this is to execute server-side logic, but I want to execute JavaScript code. For that, sorry, on client click. On client click is equals to, you can provide a JavaScript function there. You can use a JavaScript function in that particular place now. JavaScript code can be implemented. Okay. And now you say, I'm writing the logic. If txt name dot text is equals to admin, txt password dot text is equals to admin at the rate 123, and txt email dot text is equals to admin at the rate nareshit.com. Okay, if all these are correct, lbl message dot text is equals to valid user, else lbl message dot text is equals to invalid user. So what is this, guys? Event. And is a method associated with the event. Same way now, I want to write some logic for reset button also now. Okay, same story. What you'll do? Double click. See there, another method came now. This is the beauty of GUI. This is the beauty of web forms. You don't require to manually type anything. Double click, it will generate. Write the code. This is what you learned in Windows Forms. Same process repeating here also. txt name dot text is equals to txt password dot text is equals to txt email dot text is equals to empty string. Txt name dot focus method. What is a text? Property. Text is a property. What is focus? Method. You know methods, phrases. Phrases. Okay. And a click event. All are there, see? Property. Method. Event. In HTML also we have. In ASP.NET Server Controls also we have. The different way you are using it, that's all. Now run this. Why are we using ASP.NET Server Control? Saroj, did you get your answer? I did not notice this. When did you ask this particular question? Did you get your answer? Or still you are confused? Yeah. Enter admin @ 123 admin@naresheti.com and click on login. Except password, remaining all controls will maintain the state of value. Password is sensitive, guys. Password state will not maintain. Password will clear the state. Okay, now I'm not giving I'm giving a wrong password. I type it randomly. Invalid use. But you understood the difference. You might be writing this type of coding in your JavaScript, in your HTML classes also. But there you have written this code using JavaScript. And today you have written this code by using C#. So going forward, I can validate these values with a database. Am I right or not? In HTML, the static only we saw, na? But did you go for a database? No, you did not go with a database. But I can do this with a database if I go with C#. If I go with a C#, I can deal with a database. Are you getting my point here? All of you are aware of ADO.NET now? Tomorrow we'll do one thing. What is it, We'll create a registration form. We'll create a database table. We will try to enter some values and click on the save button. The data should go and sit in the database server now. Then we'll design a login form. And in the login form, we will try to write the same code by using database validation now. Am I clear what I'm telling you? We will make it with the database. We'll just do with the database. And then you'll understand the real difference between writing JavaScript coding and writing the C# code. In JavaScript, your static validations you might be done doing, that's all. But you did not deal with the database. We'll deal with that particular database in the next hour. Tomorrow, I will show you how you can just manage or save all this particular data with this. Confused. Yeah, can anyone answer this question? He has a question here. Online, offline, anyone. Why are we using ASP server controls when we can use HTML controls? I clearly mentioned this to all of you. When I started only, I said you, you will be confused when I use this. Sir, when HTML controls are there, why should I use ASP.NET server controls? I said you have two advantages here. First advantage, HTML controls will not maintain the state of the values. When you click on a submit button, all the controls are cleared. But ASP.NET server controls, except password, will maintain the state of values. See, even after you click on the login, the values are not cleared here now. But do the same thing with HTML and see. You will see all the controls getting cleared off now. But this won't happen in ASP.NET web forms. In ASP.NET web forms, this is not going to happen. Okay. Second, what is it? These controls are directly accessible to you on the server with their name. Are you getting me? Even you want to access a control in JavaScript, you require a request dot get element by ID of and write that code here. How complex you see? Request dot get element by ID of and write that particular name. In that scenario, if I type the name wrong, no compile time error, no runtime error. But see the beauty here. Directly you can refer to the control and write up the code. txt name.txt. Simple, na? txt name.txt. When you're typing, IntelliSense will work to you and shows you the list. Anything wrongly typed, compile time error. These are the benefits. When we register a site in host file. If at all you want to give a different domain name, watch the video. See the videos I'm just posting up every day. That video I'm just added for you until the yesterday video. Yesterday's only I did not add. The last week complete videos I added. Watch that. When you are just trying to create a site with your own domain name, We just created a site with a domain name called nitsite.com. Then we need to register in the host file. Otherwise, no need. Okay, Saroj, are you clearer? Two advantages of using the server controls. One is the controls are accessible to you directly on the server. That's the first advantage. Second, they will maintain the state of values. They'll maintain the state of value. But HTML controls will not maintain the state of values, or HTML controls are not accessible to you directly on the server side. Is that clear, all of you? Yes or not? So that is what. So tomorrow we will make this a bit dynamic. Understood? So what we are going to do? We are going to create a table in the database. Okay, now we'll create a table in the database and we will try to design a registration form now. And the user can register. The user can register with the registration form. And once the user registers, we'll put that code in the table. Then we'll go with a login. And in the login should be done by checking with the given user ID password in the database now. And if it is correct, only valid user should come. But today, static values. But tomorrow we'll make the same thing dynamic with the help of ADO.NET programming. Is that clear? Okay, so tomorrow I'll show you that and we'll stop with the web forms. And I said I'll give you the complete notes to you. You can just go and practice with the appropriate web forms. But my prime focus is this is not about web form. This is purely about MVC only. But still, to give you an idea about the web forms, I just been started up this particular discussion. That's all. Because first what came is web forms. The history, ASP first, ASP.NET web forms, then MVC. Okay, tomorrow we'll stop with this particular web forms. And then from the next session onwards, we'll jump into the MVC architecture. What is MVC and all these particular things. Okay, let me stop here. We'll meet tomorrow.